When we talk about HYBE's dominance in the music and entertainment industry, it is almost impossible to separate the company's growth from Jungkook's presence. He is not only the youngest member of BTS, but also the face of a global brand that transcends music. While HYBE has built structures to diversify, expand internationally, and reduce dependency on one artist, the reality is that Jungkook remains central to the company's image, revenue streams, and cultural influence. To ask whether HYBE can shine without Jungkook means questioning the degree to which the company's business model relies on him. HYBE has developed multiple groups such as 17, Enhypen, Le Sserafim, and New Jeans. These groups are successful in their own right, but none has yet achieved the individual global dominance that Jungkook commands. His solo projects, from singles like 7 and 3D to brand campaigns with Calvin Klein, consistently trend worldwide and generate metrics that rival entire groups. This places Jungkook in a unique position. Within HYBE's portfolio, he is not simply another idol. He is the standard against which new acts are measured. When New Jeans secures luxury brand deals, analysts compare their impact to Jungkook's Calvin Klein campaign. When 17 sells albums in bulk, fans still recall Jungkook's ability to dominate global streaming platforms on his own. This comparison highlights how deeply his presence defines the success threshold for HYBE. If Jungkook were absent, HYBE would lose not only his output, but also the central reference point that amplifies the company's overall prestige. One of the striking realities about HYBE's reliance on Jungkook is his ability to create global waves even as a soloist. Unlike many K-pop idols who remain tethered to their group identity, Jungkook has successfully stepped out with his own brand. His solo releases chart on Billboard Hot 100, dominate Spotify, and achieve recognition from Western media outlets typically reserved for mainstream American acts. This solo impact is not only a personal achievement, but also a corporate asset for HYBE. The company can showcase him as evidence that their training system and promotional machinery can produce an idol who competes head-to-head with the biggest names in global pop. Without Jungkook, HYBE loses its strongest case study for proving that their artists can succeed independently. HYBE's brand is more than music. It is culture, fashion, and lifestyle. Here, Jungkook functions as the bridge between the company and global mainstream audiences. His collaboration with Calvin Klein is perhaps the clearest example. While other idols in HYBE secure partnerships, none generate the same level of visibility. When Jungkook's campaign photos were released, they trended in multiple countries simultaneously, sparking discussions that extended far beyond music fans into fashion, design, and marketing industries. For HYBE, this kind of crossover appeal is critical. It positions them not only as a K-pop company, but as a cultural powerhouse. Without Jungkook, HYBE's branding loses its most effective global connector. Other idols may fill parts of this role, but the scale of Jungkook's reach remains unmatched. In practical terms, Jungkook's voice and image are among HYBE's most valuable intellectual properties. His vocals are central to BTS's discography, giving many of their songs their signature sound. Even when HYBE leverages past BTS material, Jungkook's voice is what listeners instantly recognize. His image, too, carries weight, whether in music videos, merchandise, or archived performances. This means HYBE's monetization of BTS's legacy is, in large part, monetization of Jungkook himself. If he were removed, HYBE could still profit from past works, but the active reinforcement of his brand through new performances, interviews, and collaborations would be lost. The long-term value of HYBE's archives depends heavily on Jungkook's continued relevance. HYBE's training system is often praised for producing world-class idols. Yet the clearest evidence of its success is Jungkook. He is frequently described as the golden maknae because of his ability to sing, dance, rap, and perform at the highest level. New trainees are compared to him from the moment they debut, with fans and critics asking whether anyone can reach Jungkook's versatility and polish. This constant comparison benefits HYBE by reinforcing the prestige of its system. Jungkook is essentially the flagship product of their training model. If he were absent, HYBE would struggle to maintain the same level of credibility. Without Jungkook as living proof of what their system can achieve, the company would rely solely on newer idols who may not yet have proven themselves globally. When HYBE acquired Ithaca Holdings and began managing Western stars like Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, the company's goal was clear: to break into the US and global mainstream. Yet the success of this strategy is not measured by those artists. They were already global icons before HYBE's involvement. Instead, the true test is whether HYBE's Korean artists can penetrate Western markets at the same level. Here, Jungkook has become the centerpiece. His English-language singles, collaborations with artists like Latto and Jack Harlow, and recognition from outlets such as Billboard and Rolling Stone show that HYBE's Korean talent can indeed compete globally. Without Jungkook, HYBE's proof of concept in the West becomes much weaker. HYBE's platforms, such as Weverse, merchandise shops, and streaming campaigns benefit enormously from Jungkook's fanbase. His fans are among the most engaged and active in mobilizing support, from streaming his songs to purchasing merchandise and trending hashtags. This level of loyalty generates consistent revenue for HYBE, as every Jungkook-related release is guaranteed to spark immediate consumption. If Jungkook were absent, HYBE would lose one of its most reliable engines of fan engagement. While other idols have passionate supporters, Jungkook's global fandom is uniquely positioned to push HYBE's content into mainstream spaces. His fans amplify HYBE's brand more effectively than any marketing campaign could. Even in a scenario where Jungkook steps back, HYBE cannot erase the influence he has already had. BTS's history is inseparable from his presence, and that history will continue generating streams, sales, and media attention. However, the legacy effect is not enough to sustain HYBE at its current level. Companies thrive on fresh content, and while archives remain valuable, they must be supplemented with new activity. This is why Jungkook's continued participation is so critical. His ongoing relevance ensures that BTS's legacy remains a living force rather than a static archive. Without him, HYBE risks being seen as a company trading on nostalgia rather than innovation. For millions of international fans, Jungkook has become their entry point into the K-pop industry. His performances on global stages, including the FIFA World Cup 2022 opening ceremony, were watched by audiences who may not have been familiar with BTS or Korean music beforehand. These high-profile appearances introduced him, and by extension, HYBE, to entirely new markets. This gateway effect is critical. Jungkook acts as the first impression for audiences unfamiliar with K-pop. Without him, HYBE risks losing one of its most powerful tools for capturing new fans. Other idols may eventually step into similar roles, but none currently possess the same immediate recognition and accessibility that Jungkook commands. Global media outlets often highlight Jungkook in ways they don't with other idols. Western magazines, fashion journals, and even non-entertainment publications frequently use his name in headlines, aware that it guarantees readership. Whether it's his music, his Calvin Klein campaign, or even his airport appearances, Jungkook consistently drives clicks and discussions. For HYBE, This media magnetism translates directly into brand value. Every article about Jungkook indirectly promotes HYBE, keeping the company visible in markets outside Korea. If he were gone, HYBE would lose the free publicity cycle that his mere presence generates. This reliance on his visibility shows how difficult it would be for the company to maintain the same global attention without him. In today's entertainment industry, social media presence often determines influence. Jungkook consistently trends worldwide on platforms like Twitter, X, TikTok, and Instagram, sometimes for the simplest reasons: a photo upload, a new hairstyle, or even a casual live stream. These trends are not minor. They dominate global charts and spark discussions across languages and cultures. HYBE benefits enormously from this kind of organic exposure. Unlike paid campaigns, Jungkook's social media influence comes naturally from fans' engagement. If Jungkook is removed from the equation, HYBE's ability to dominate trending topics diminishes significantly. His organic reach cannot be bought or artificially replicated, making his absence a major loss in the social media-driven global market. While HYBE has invested in Western talent and international subsidiaries, Jungkook remains its strongest ambassador abroad. His collaborations with Western artists like Latto, Seven, and Jack Harlow, 3D, were not just musical experiments. They were strategic moves to position him as a global pop star. These songs proved that a Korean idol could hold his own on global charts, alongside established Western acts. This role as a cultural bridge is central to HYBE's expansion strategy. Jungkook gives the company credibility in the West, something not all idols can achieve. Without him, HYBE would struggle to maintain the same momentum in non-Asian markets, as other idols may not yet have the same crossover power. From a financial perspective, Jungkook's impact is quantifiable. His solo releases break streaming records on Spotify. His brand campaigns generate spikes in product sales. His name alone adds significant value to HYBE's stock performance whenever news about him trends. Analysts and investors understand this, often citing Jungkook when discussing HYBE's market strength. This means his absence is not only a cultural issue but a financial risk. If Jungkook were to step back, HYBE would face immediate questions from investors about its long-term stability. The stock market reacts strongly to news about BTS members, and Jungkook's moves are often the most scrutinized. Losing him would affect HYBE's credibility with shareholders and the wider financial community. K-pop's business model relies heavily on the fan economy, streaming, buying albums, purchasing merchandise, and attending concerts. Jungkook's fans are among the most active in this ecosystem. They organize mass streaming campaigns, bulk buy merchandise, and create global trends to support him. This level of engagement directly translates into revenue for HYBE. A Jungkook-focused release guarantees immediate sales spikes across multiple platforms. If he were absent, HYBE would lose one of its most reliable financial engines. While other idols attract passionate fans, Jungkook's global fandom operates at a scale few others can match. Luxury fashion and global corporations are selective in choosing ambassadors. Jungkook's appeal to brands like Calvin Klein shows how valuable he is to HYBE's partnership strategy. Unlike some idols who represent niche markets, Jungkook embodies mainstream global appeal, making him ideal for international endorsements. Without him, HYBE's ability to attract top-tier brand partnerships would decline. While other idols can secure deals, they may not command the same universal recognition. Jungkook's absence would force HYBE to renegotiate its position in the branding landscape, potentially lowering its profile with luxury and global corporations. Perhaps the biggest risk for HYBE is the simple fact that Jungkook is irreplaceable. Every new idol is compared to him, and none have yet matched his combination of talent, charisma, and global reach. This creates a dependency problem. As long as Jungkook is present, HYBE shines, but without him, the company faces a vacuum that no trainee or new group can immediately fill. This irreplaceability is a double-edged sword. It strengthens HYBE while Jungkook is active, but it also exposes the company's vulnerability if he steps away. This is the dilemma at the heart of the question. Can HYBE truly shine without him? Or has it built too much of its global identity around one man?